What was your reaction as you watched the scenes in the Oval Office on Friday?
I was aghast, absolutely aghast, and thought the whole spectacle was deeply unedifying and undignified. When we look at President Zelenskyy in particular, I think he's a hero. He's an absolute hero in the way in which he stood up to authoritarianism. He's fighting for the sovereignty of his country. Let's not forget, Trevor, it's been the third year anniversary this week of this awful conflict. And I say this as I was in government. I was in government at the time when the invasion happened. Our country has stood by with Ukraine. So it was awful to see, absolutely awful to see. And one other thing, because I think when you look at the context of everything that's going on right now as well, the United States and Britain, we have been close and strong allies. But actually, we also know when the going gets tough, you keep your disagreements not in front of cameras, but you keep them private. So, we are where we are. I genuinely think I was on your programme a few weeks ago saying we all need to have cool heads.
You did.
At this, that was back then. That was at the time of the security conference in Munich. And I genuinely feel that right now as well. We need to be constructive in our ways of working. We need to treat each other with respect. And also we have to understand the context as to, what President Zelenskyy and the people, God bless them, the people of Ukraine, what they are enduring and what they're suffering.
What you said is very, very interesting and unambiguous. And like your colleague, Robert Jenrick, who said, tweeted, I think, that he said, "I'm sickened by that degrading spectacle. To think that the bust of Winston Churchill was in the same room as it unfolded." It's interesting. Your language is very direct, Jenrick's also, but your leader said, "A divided West only benefits Russia. Now's the time for more cooperation, not less." Didn't criticise Trump at all. Is she being a bit milk and water on this?
No, I think her comments are absolutely spot on because...
but you can't be both.
No, you can. I think you can. I mean, look, she chose her words very carefully because that's the point. You've heard me say something...
My question is if they're too careful.
No, because, look, we all have to really just sort of step back right now. And we don't want a divided West. And I'm afraid Russia, Putin, the aggressor, will be watching this, and literally, I think, just sort of thinking, yes, let them carry on rowing. We don't want that. I think we have to move on, draw a line in the sand from what happened on Friday. All credit to our government right now, providing strengthened leadership and trying to find solutions. Again, I think I was on your show recently saying that we all have to come to the table with a degree of pragmatism but solutions. And I just don't think we need to be airing our conflicts in public.
Well, in fact, you watched it. And in fact, in one part of your career, you would have been advising one or more of those men in the room
yes.
How to behave. Trump, Vance, Zelenskyy, who do you blame for what you describe as this degrading spectacle?
I'm not going to get into a blame game because, look, as I've said already, what President Zelenskyy, through his leadership and the people of Ukraine, have been enduring and suffering, we can't, even a country like Britain that has stood by Ukraine, we can't fully comprehend that. And at the end of the day, we need to find solutions. And it is inevitable that there will be tensions and disagreements. All sorts of words have been spoken in the past, Trevor, around Ukraine and in America about Ukraine as well. The Americans, let's not forget this, have been big supporters of Ukraine, alongside so many other countries, including ourselves and many European allies as well, NATO allies. We've got to move on constructively.
All right. Well, let's talk about the substance. What would you like to see emerge from the meeting that's being convened by the Prime Minister today?
So I think a number of things. First of all credit to the Prime Minister and also the way he's conducted himself in recent days. Yesterday, I thought it was hugely touching, actually, to see President Zelenskyy come to Downing Street. And again, constructive discussions. We all place some faith in that for a start. Keir Starmer, as Prime Minister, has also spoken in this week about increasing, or in the last week, about increasing defence spending. It's obvious now is the time that our European allies, our NATO allies, have to step up on this. Our country, again, finding solutions, is finding the way to do that. But ultimately, we do need to find ways in which we can bring some peace. And I think, off the back of where the direction of travel with America, I have no doubt the Prime Minister will be looking to work through what could be a suitable, just and lasting solution for Ukraine, one which protects their integrity and their sovereignty. That's not easy, and obviously we're way away from that yet, but I think moving in the right direction there would be a good thing.
Are you at all nervous that this new cooperation might have the unintended result of bringing us back closer to the EU?
I don't think that's at all the issue here. I really don't, Trevor.
No, but it might be one of the things that happens.
I think, no, first and foremost, NATO is the defence and security alliance that we work through. That's protected our country, protected European allies. We've been part of that for decades and decades. I would argue, and I'm sure the Prime Minister and his advisors and our military chiefs as well, will be making sure that is front and centre of all the discussions, and it's that strength. NATO provides a huge strength. I should also just add one other thing. This is a big moment for our country. You know, I grew up, and you as well, Trevor, will remember the Falklands conflict. You know, we were pretty much on our own, but that was through our own strength in terms of our defence partnership, but also the defence of our own nation. We must always now, I think, in light of the challenging times, geopolitical times that we're living in, we've got to strengthen our armed forces.
Let's just talk about the nation very quickly, if I may. The former Spectator editor, Fraser Nelson, argued this week on a podcast that you could claim English identity, not British identity, English identity, irrespective of your ethnicity. Not all your colleagues in your party agree with that. Do you agree? Do you consider yourself English?
I do consider myself English, and I'm an Essex MP, so I frequently say, Trevor, the only way is Essex. I do, of course I do. My values, the way I live my life, absolutely. So, you know, I can't even, I haven't listened or followed this debate at all, and others, it sounds to me very subjective and very personal. So I think that's very much for others to comment on.
Your colleague, Suella Braverman, says that actually, though she considers herself British, she couldn't consider herself English because that's, in a way, a kind of ethnic identity.
Well, I think that's a matter for her. I really do. You know, it's not a point that I can relate to.